Let's go. Yo. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. Never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast. And that's facts.
What's up, everybody? How you doing out there? Beautiful Monday morning. Thank God it's Monday. And oh my God, talk about, I can't even call this an overreaction Monday, because what else would you call a 7-game skid in which we thought our Lord and Savior, that's bad. I shouldn't even say that. But the Savior of the Bears that's coming in, and he's supposed to right all the wrongs and make everything right. I mean, he said all the amazing things about accountability and how everything was going to be great. I mean, he really sold us, man. I definitely stepped out. I did a lot of videos. I did a lot of content. I love this guy. The backstory about him and being with freaking, Sean McVay and all that. I was, sipping on the Kool-Aid, way too much. And I had plenty of people that were telling me to be cautiously optimistic, in the sense that you get a little bit of like a surge. Some people get a bit of surge, teams do, when you have like brand new guys out there, okay? Brand new interim coaches that come out there. What's up, Chris Foster? How you doing, buddy? Yeah, we'll get into that in a little bit too. I know you want to dive right into Caleb like you always do. That's your go-to, man. That's your MO. But yeah, let's stay on topic. Thomas Brown, man. What would Thomas Brown do for you? Okay. Let's focus on that. Interim coach coming in. We didn't have to see Eberflus in 3 years. Now that's a good thing, okay? But this was a terrible, terrible loss. There was plenty of guys that were out for San Francisco, some big time players, all on both sides of the ball. I felt good about it. A lot of people felt good about it. Vegas didn't feel too good about the Bears win, though. They had the Niners, I believe, like almost a 70% chance of winning. So, yeah, man, it was bad. There was nothing good about yesterday. 38-13 colossal loss. We really thought there'd be a resurgence, and a spark. All the players and everybody really seemed to like Thomas Brown and what he could do for you. He was saying all the right things. I don't know how he's going to respond to this. I'm pretty sure the locker room is a disaster. I can't get any sleep. The Bears are ruining my life, says Greg Braggs from CHGO. I saw him on YouTube. I'm looking at all the content and stuff and trying to see what we're going to do for the day for you guys and talk about our beloved Bears, because, win, lose, or draw, we're always there no matter what. We don't give up on our team. We're loyal. We're faithful. It doesn't matter. And let's be honest. We really need to figure out what is going to happen moving ahead. I mean, who do we fire next? Who do we fire next? I mean, seriously, Eberflus was not the answer, but it doesn't stop there yet, right? It doesn't stop there. Where do we go after today? Where do we go? I'm at a loss. I need a little help. What do we do? How do we spark resurgence? What is going to happen? How can we get a win? 7 games in a row we've lost. We're terrible on the road. That was one thing that was damning for me, is we couldn't get a win on the road. And I says, all right, let's get rid of this guy. And honestly, it's ridiculous. So you look at we are quarterback killers, okay? Look at our track record. Mitch Trubisky, okay? Then Justin Fields, then Caleb. You put anybody in there, and they're going to fail too. They're going to fail too. I wanted Kyle. I wanted Kyle Shanahan. And guess what? He doesn't want to come. He said he would love to stay in San Francisco. He doesn't see himself being anywhere else. And so you can check him off. He doesn't want to come. So, how many guys out there that are in teams that are already, structured and they have a system, a foundation built on rock, built on principle, built on everything that you need an organization to be about? How many of those coaches are going to take a chance at coming here? Why would you? This is a reclamation project, okay? This is somebody that needs to get back into the NFL. If we want somebody that has already been a proven head coach, but somehow or another failed, somehow, because you got to fail in order for a team not to keep you as a head coach, right? Even the Bill Belichick failed as a freaking head coach, okay? Before and after the GOAT, he failed, okay? We got to find somebody like that. There's no way Kyle is going to come here. There's no way. He already said it. It's a done deal. Kyle is out. I did a whole show on him. You remember Foster. You remember Blake. Hey, shout out to Blake. Chris, thanks for showing up, Papa Bear, over at Bridges Scoreboard and bringing a pretty good group of guys, your friends from Instagram. That was awesome. That was cool. Shout out to you on your premiere with Chicago Sports Podcast, man. You did a good job. Good job on the trivia. Good job on the questions. Good job on keeping the media lit while we were there. Good food, good fun, right, Chris? You can't ask for a better place. Really good place. Bobby was Bobby Howard. Shout out to Bobby Howard for showing up and showing out and hanging out with us, man, and really hooking up. Scott's going through a lot right now. Scott's dealing with he's battling stage 4 cancer, man. He's a survivor, man. He just lost his brother in August. Shout out to all the Bears. Shout out to all the support system that he has. People that are coming out there, they're packing in Bridges, and man, let's help him get through this, man. Let's help him get through this. Fight for his life, man. He's an awesome dude. I love him. He took a chance on me, and man, just every time we go out there, we just want to do them right. You know what I mean? And that's what it's all about. It's all about the connection. It's all about the community. It's all about what we do amongst each other, even when the Bears don't show up, okay? In the grand scheme of things, it's all about us being united and not divided. So shout out to that. If there's anything that comes out of this, it's that we're there for each other, man. And this is a brotherhood, and I put this team against any 31 of the other teams, man, for real. So let's get back into the mess. Let's get into the thick of it, okay? Man, I'll tell you what a day yesterday, First half again, garbage. Second half, we're a second half team that still loses. Wow. I mean, look at the defense. The defense gave up 38 points. Can we talk about that, or can we just beat up one player, Chris Foster? I mean, really, where's IQ level here, pal? I mean, really, 38 points. Does Caleb tackle? 38 points. Yeah, we only put up 13, but our defense used to only give up 20. Is that because we're playing better defenses, or is that because our defense is playing worse? 9 sacks. Some of them were Caleb's reads. He should have thrown the ball. He should have done better. He's actually, for being in the history of the NFL, he has I think Chris had brought up a stat like 260 passes or something without an interception. There's a record there. Most touchdowns by a rookie quarterback for the Bears in the history of ever. Over 100 years. He just broke the record. What do you got to say about that, Chris? Let's talk about the highlights along with the lowlights, okay? Let's bring up the highs and not all the lows, okay? I know you're a depressed individual and you probably weren't taken care of as a child, but shame on you. Don't just beat up one player. This team as a whole is horrible. It's horrific. It's as terrible as your takes, Chris. All you do is you come in here as you beat up one player. Yeah, he's bad. He's terrible. He's doing really bad. He admitted that. He admitted that he's really bad. But just one player, that's all you got? That is all you bring. That's all you bring to the Chicago Bears network, the community. That's all you have for us is just beating up and trolling on Caleb Williams, one player. Shame on you. That's all you got? That's your stick? Moving on, man. Moving on from a troll like Chris Foster. What a bum. All right. So, anyways, moving on right along. I ain't got time for that garbage. Yeah, it's bad, man. The sacks, guys blowing right past us, freaking coming in hot, missed tackles. We got a guy who had 2 touchdowns. We had a guy that had 2 touchdowns, has probably never, he was like the backup. The backup, freaking running back, run all over us. So, yeah, pull up those stats, Chris. Show this kid Foster who's boss, man. Show him all the records that Caleb's already broken, man. I don't think it's going to do him any good, man. I think he was dropped on his head. But yeah, let's get back into this because we want to stay on topic. We have a topic here to discuss. But let's name it anything, really. And the Chicago Bears probably need it. The Chicago Bears probably need help. They probably need a better fan than Chris Foster. They need better pass protection. They need another pass rusher. And then maybe one more after that. They probably need another starter at cornerback. Ones that aren't going to blow the game at the end with Tyreek Stevenson, okay? And yesterday, there was blown coverage all over the place, okay? They need at least one starting guard. They need a new starting center. They need more depth on both lines. They need their receivers to stop dropping passes. I mean, can you blame that on Caleb, the drop passes? What do you got there to say for yourself, Chris Foster? Kids spell backwards. They need to stop missing blocks. There's a lot of missed blocks. There's a lot of holding. Okay, there's a lot of holding. I saw at least 4 in the first half where our offensive linemen were being held and freaking the refs did nothing about it. It was horrible. Shame on you. Shame on you, refs. Get it right. Play both sides. Call both sides right. They need to prevent Caleb Williams from being sacked on 3rd down. That happened a lot. That was terrible. They need their next head coach. I'm here to tell you Thomas Brown is not our savior. I messed up. I was wrong. My co-host, former quarterback, Jim Miller, he told me on record, he said, listen, this guy's not our savior. He's not it. I know we're excited. We want change and we get it. There's someone in the building. We got to have somebody promote somebody. Maybe he should have stayed and just focused on Caleb's growth and development and protection as much as possible instead of giving him and being up in the booth. Remember, we all talked about him. You guys talked about him. Shout out to you guys in the chat talking about Thomas Brown staying up in the booth instead of the sideline, that maybe there would be a change in that. And there was, obviously. And Beatty should have kept at being a receiver coach. There's jokes on XApp Twitter that's saying a picture of Eberflus saying, do you miss me yet? No, we don't. We don't miss you at all. But we don't really like what's going on here either, okay? Let's be honest. The problem is bigger than the sum of its parts, and it does not end with freaking Eberflus. Shout out to Brad Williamson. Thanks, man. He says Thomas Brown ain't the answer. I'm sorry, but he's in over his head as head coach. I agree with that. I don't even know. Brad, do you think that he could potentially be a head coach somewhere in the NFL later on down the road? I mean, is this just a bad, premier outing? Is this a bad audition? Or what do you think, man? I'm going to keep cooking, okay? We got a lot to go over, okay? I got to clock in at the steel mill here in a little bit, but I wanted to get this off my chest. We needed to talk about it and be about it. So when we go in to work, we're not a hot mess, and we can actually be productive, and be a good coworker. I got bags under my eyes. I got the Celsius, or what's it called? Oh, my daughter turned me on to this stuff. It's supposed to be somewhat good for your health compared to the Monster that turns me into a monster. Like I said, they need their next head coach. They need their next defensive coordinator. This defensive coordinator is not it. I'm sorry. I thought coming from the whole, Buffalo Bills thing with the pressure, and they put the most pressure and give the most, blitzes and all this kind of stuff. I thought that would help us out. I don't know, man. Tim Ware, what up? Shout out to Tim Ware. Thank you for putting Chris Foster in his place, man. Everybody hold Chris Foster accountable, man. Shame on him for beating up this kid. This kid is a rookie. It's definitely going to need more than him. He's having a terrible year in terms of what this kid could actually accomplish. He actually has that it factor, but right now he is not doing well, and nobody would do well. I don't care who the hell it is. I don't care who the hell it is right now. They would not succeed with the Chicago Bears in this freaking dumpster fire that we have. Who's going to be back there behind this line? Who's going to be back there behind this line? And the play calling. You think he's calling his own plays? Come on, man. Think. You're bringing down the average IQ of the regular Chicago Bear fan just by the words that you're texting in our chat. Be better, do better, Chris Foster. Jeez, man. They need to start building their new stadium in Arlington Heights. Anyone? Where are they going to build their new stadium at? And who's going to show up? Seriously, if we all banded together and didn't show up, then maybe we would get their attention. But if we keep clocking in, if we keep paying the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars to freeze our tails off and have a terrible freaking evening or afternoon with the Chicago Bears, guess what? They rinse and repeat. They're businessmen. They don't care. The McCaskies do not care. If they care, they're not showing it. They need to hand over the reins and give it to somebody that cares. And it ain't Bill Polian, okay? He was the guy that freaking went out and got all these guys together and gave 3 head coaches and said, okay, Ryan Poles, this is who you have. You got 3 coaches. Make a decision. And they went with Matt Eberflus. And I'm going to tell you something. These interviews are shit. These interviews don't mean diddly squat. The only reason why I was excited about this Thomas Brown is because he's an interim coach and we get to see on the job what he looks like. And right now, he looks like shit, okay? Pardon my French. I hope all the women and children are in bed right now because my vocabulary is not going to be too pretty, okay? All right. So anyways, they need to start building their own stadium. I don't want to hear about it. If we cannot win in our own stadium, screw Arlington Heights, screw another place in Chicago, wherever. Keep that to yourselves. Businessmen, keep that to yourselves. We don't want to hear about it. We want you to be about it and create a culture, a winning environment, win these games. We were actually at least in the games. This is the first time we've actually been blown the F out. We were blown out. We got killed. The score could have been way worse than it was had the freaking starters been actually there. The actual really good starters on the offense and the defense would have been there, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So anyways. And they might need a new general manager. Can I get a shout out to that? Let's hold that guy accountable, right? Let's hold that accountable. Let's hold that guy accountable. Okay? Is Ryan Poles the answer? Is he the guy that's going to make this right? Him and Ian Cunningham need to be held accountable. They were both offensive linemen in the NFL. If there's any time that you want to give preferential treatment to a position in the NFL, it is with the position that you played in the NFL. In my opinion, if I was like a Bajan or a Tom Brady or a whoever, Randall Cunningham, I'm going to freaking hire a really good quarterback. I'm going to make it. And if that guy don't work, I'm going to get another quarterback and another quarterback and another quarterback. Rinse and repeat every year, maybe 2 quarterbacks. I don't know. I'm just saying, offensive line, this is atrocious. I like my boy, Pat. Shout out to Pat, the designer, ESPN. He's got his own show, Windy City Breeze. Great guy. I've been in the studio. We've chopped it up. Really super good dude. Good crew, great posse. Shout out to those guys. He said, and I quote, quit hiring people or quit signing or hiring, whatever. You guys know what I mean. Same thing. That play like you, that are like you. And Ryan Poles was undrafted, right? To my knowledge, I think he was undrafted. So is he looking for these nuggets, these nuggets of the day, these guys that are like hidden somewhere where he can just elevate them and just be the mad scientist and be the smartest guy in the room? Is that what we're doing? Do we have a Matt Nagy? Do we have a Matt Nagy of a general manager? What's happening? You know what I mean? What's happening with this guy? I don't know. I don't know. All I know is he was part of the Chiefs. Is Andy Reid the actual architect? Is he like the Bill Belichick of the Chiefs, where he makes everybody look that much better, that much smarter? Like, what did Andy Reid actually do over there with the Kansas City Chiefs? Because, dude, I'm telling you right now, everybody that we've got from the Kansas City Chiefs sucks. They're freaking horrible, man. They're freaking horrible. Every single one of them. I am not happy with Poles at all. Has he hit on some guys? Yes. But I was questioning right out the gate what he did with getting 2 defensive backs. Gordon, he ended up being pretty good. Brisker, damn good safety. But back-to-back, and we still didn't have a freaking offensive lineman yet that we were picking up to help out Justin Fields. That right there was malpractice. Like I said, those guys ended up being good. If this draft, whoever it is, even if it's Ryan Poles, God forbid, if he goes in there, okay, and I'm calling him out on record right now. You guys know I've been very hands-off with Ryan. I was really hoping. I saw some good things and all this and that, but right now, this is not good. And that whole interview that he did, the exit interview with Ryan Poles and Kevin Warren, that was the most somber, downtrodden, like you could tell his body language and just what he said and what he didn't say. I mean, it was ridiculous, right? You could really see like he just looks defeated and kind of like, Big Brother's taken over. Kevin Warren is taken over. And that's kind of like what I got the vibes of Ryan when he first got here. Remember, he was like, let me do my job. Let me figure out what it is. I want to bring Ian Cunningham in. He's in the history of ever, the first assistant general manager, never been done before. And there's a very good joke about the McCaskies looking at nickels the size of manhole covers. So when they went out and created a position for Ian to come in and help out. Now, let's unpack the draft, because it sounded to me like when Roma Dunze was on the clock at the 9th pick, and I still to this day feel like we should have got an offensive lineman. Now, you guys know I played offensive line in college and semi-pro, right? Special teams, defensive line, but most of it, 90% of it was offensive line. So I'm going to go straight to the offensive line. You guys remember most of my guys that I interviewed when I first started out, when I was having podcasts by myself in my garage, without the shout out to all the co-hosts that we have now, over 20 co-hosts, man. I mean, that we got a great community here. We're building it out. We've got guys coming in. Shout out to all those guys coming in from other podcasts. And this is a great community. Couldn't do it without you guys. But seriously, when I first started out there, and we built this thing out, I really thought things were going in a much different direction. I thought we were going to have a better offensive line. I had Quasi Mitchell come in, several different offensive linemen. Then later on, when we got into Mongo's friends, and we had Jay Hilgenberg, shout out to Jay Hilgenberg, man. He was on the list for the Hall of Fame for 2025 class. We had Jimbo Colbert on. We had all these offensive linemen on, man. And people were like, dude, are you only interviewing offensive linemen? So I ended up getting Bernard Berrien on, and then Jimmy Mack, and, we just kind of like built outside of that, dude. But seriously, what are we doing here? I think if we don't do, okay, so listen here, Chris, listen here, Ghost Judah, whoever else is in the chat. We got over 50. It's still early yet, but hey, listen, here's the deal. I'm looking at this. If we don't, in the top 40 picks that we have, right? Because we're just sinking. We've got four wins. We're finding different ways to lose every game. So we are going to get good draft picks. We got two seconds and a first so far. Okay. So we need at least 2 offensive linemen, a center, and an interior lineman, like a guard, I say. I'm still not sold on our tackle. I know we're not. I also don't mind if there is a good veteran that's not banged up. Now, on your second, third contract, bro, you are going to find us offensive linemen are banged up, man. It's a dirty place to work, and we got a lot of aches and pains and stuff. It just goes with the territory, okay? So when you get a guy as a free agent, offensive lineman, it's a dirty game. It's a dirty position. Those guys are going to have injuries. Now, Tevin Jenkins, I don't know what's up with that dude. Hopefully we can get him, re-sign him to a, kind of like a contract where it's like so much percentage he plays and starts, then it'll be incentive based, according to how many games and stuff. I think that would be a healthy approach with him. If not, if he won't sign that and we can't make some sort of deal, I'm not saying that he should get top 5, top 10, maybe even top 20 linemen in the NFL pay. If he wants something like that, tell him to pack his bags and take the Shoelace Express. You know what I mean? But yeah, honestly, wow. Why are we still talking about Bajan, man? Is that the only thing you guys like talk about? Like a few of you guys, like only 2 or 3 of you, but really, like, is that all you got on your mind is Bajan? The guy came in for a few games. I mean, he was freaking from no-name college, and his dad is a freaking, arm wrestler. It doesn't matter who's back there. Doesn't matter if it's Mitch Trubisky, Justin Fields, Caleb. It doesn't matter if it's Bajan. It doesn't matter if it's freaking Flacco. All these guys are going to get killed behind the offensive line and the play calling. It's atrocious. It's terrible. Shame on you for thinking and putting all that pressure on one person. The team is much bigger. The team is bigger than the sum of its parts, and the quarterback is not the person. We've seen it time and time again where defenses are what is needed in order to win a Super Bowl. Even the Tom Brady's of the world had really good defenses. Even Mahomes has probably on record his worst, out of his whole career, has had his worst statistical season. And his defense is like, what, top 5 in scoring? You got to have a good field goal kicker. You got to have good special teams. You got to have a good offensive line. Now that left tackle that the Chiefs have, that's their 4th left tackle that they're on right now. Not first string, not second string, track with me, not third string, 4th. He's not the answer, but they are running out of guys to protect Patrick. In the grand scheme of things, I'm wondering if they're going to actually be able to hold up right now and go the distance. This might be a situation where the Chiefs still find ways to win and not ways to lose like the Bears. And we're not even in the same discussion. But at the end of the day, I don't know if they can go the full distance in the playoffs. I really think they come up short. I don't know if Buffalo is your answer in the AFC. What do you guys think, man? Drop a comment, hit that like button, subscribe. Y'all know what to do. Please give us a good review. We appreciate you. Chris, I still love you, bro. I love you like a sister, but dude, you freaking make me so fired up when you come in here and all you do is talk about. I know you've got a higher IQ than this. I know you've been around for a while. I think you got your own show or something, somebody said, unless that's a different Foster, but maybe it's a different Foster. But I know you've been around the game for a while than just to talk about one position, because it's way bigger than one position. Like I said, no quarterback in the league is going to help with the deficiency on the defense that is giving up 38 points. That's terrible, man. That's terrible. And Brock Purdy, he only threw for like 95 yards last game. Last game, he only threw for 95 yards. And dude, what about these tight ends? We cannot cover a tight end in this league to save our lives, man. Freaking, you want to talk about the tight end in with the 49ers? That dude has not really been as great as we've seen him. He's been on the back burner. He looked like a legend yesterday. Not saying he can't be and not saying he isn't a really good player, but we've done this time and time again. Like freaking tight ends cook on the freaking Bears defense, man. It's ridiculous. Different Foster. He goes to all 100 shows. He just trolls Caleb. What are you going to do when Caleb's gone, dude? You're going to troll the next guy? You probably troll Bajan if he I'm telling you right now, you put Bajan in, he's not the answer. Do you think we're going to win out if Bajan comes in? Every time you get a first round quarterback and he doesn't do well, it sets your whole franchise back a legit six seasons, 6 years. Are you rooting against this guy? Because if you are, you don't want your Chicago Bears to win. You set your team back 6 freaking years. That's what happens, man. That's the only reason why people are in conversation about Kyle losing his job, because he got that freaking dude that's Trace Lance, right? Trey Lance. He's back up at Dallas right now, I think. Dude, you got some guy named Cooper Rush is the quarterback, and Trey Lance was a first-round draft pick, and he's not even – and Kyle, beat on the drums for this guy. He advocated. He wanted him, bro. Horrible. Whatever happened, yeah, exactly. Thank you. Cole Kmet needs to focus on all the things that matter. He's talking about his ice baths, his routine, all this stuff, all that. Catch the damn ball. Quit getting calls for holding. Be a good teammate. Be a good player. Set those blocks. Do everything right like we know you can, Cole. Quit freaking getting on podcasts. Focus on your attention to detail as a player. This might not be such a good thing for these players to be on shows, but let's get some more time looking at the film. Let's get some more time in the gym. Let's, and you can't really tell people what's really going on. That everything goes against the franchise. I guarantee you there's some sort of strategy where the team sits them down and says, don't let them know how bad we really are. Don't let them know how bad we really are. And this isn't just a shot at Cole. This is just my opinion in general, dude. I love Cole. I wish his jersey was right up next to Urlacher's. But right now, this is about accountability. If we're going to call out Caleb, let's call out the other guys. And Cole is that guy who we know to be good, right? Let's also take into consideration that our running backs were beat the hell up. That was a game time decision about Swift. We already have Roshan out, right? We got guys coming in from the Browns as a running back. I don't even know who the hell that guy is. Shout out to Nick from Just Another Year, Chicago. He broke down who this dude was. I had no idea. I had no idea who we were getting. I I still don't know who the hell this guy is because our running game, which we need in order for Caleb to cook or any quarterback, if Bajent was in, any quarterback needs a good running game in order to be productive. And we got so far behind so fast because our defense let them come all the way down the field 2-3 times. You can't just pass in order to keep guys honest. You got to run the football, right? We couldn't do that. We were one-dimensional. They took our power from right underneath us when they came up on our defense, just let them off the hook, man. I mean, time and time again, scoring. Like I said, dude, shout out to that punter, man. He's got like a drone on his foot or something, man. 60 freaking something yarders, man, just booting it. Boot town, man. Unbelievable. Shout out to that guy. To me, he is like the MVP of the entire draft class. And I was so mad that we drafted him, by the way, because I, once again, thought we could have got an offensive lineman. Still do. But shout out to our punter, man. Unbelievable. That's our highlight reel for the entire season. That's my guy. That's my player of the year. Okay. You want a player of the year, MVP, Walter Payton. Don't give it to Billings. Billings done a lot of stuff, community wise, whatever. Shout out to that. But you want to give an award to somebody, give it to our damn punter, man. That guy is amazing. Swift stole money from the Bears. Brad, he might come back, a offensive line, whatever. I'm not making excuses. Swift has had some good games, but you got to have, he's the bell cow. But honestly, you got to have another guy in place. There has to be. I mean, there was times where we only had like 20 attempts, maybe 15 attempts. You can't really get a guy going that way, man. We got to do better with the execution, the scheme with running the ball. I'm not saying that he gets a pass. He could do better, but I actually think he's pretty decent, man. Yeah. You draft Caleb, you need a good punter. You've got an offensive line and a play caller and a rookie quarterback. You need a good punter. Yes. And he went on record by saying that he's going to make sure that he sits the bench and he's going to get a free ride or something. I forgot how it is. I'm not really quoting him per se, but that's basically the rough gist of things is honestly, Caleb sits on the bench a lot more than the punter does. That punter's out there. He's put in work, man. How many attempts? Does anybody know how many punts he gave yesterday? It was a lot. All right, enough with the punter. Like I said, they might need a new general manager and team president too. They might need a new team president. Let's not rule that out. He's got his eyes set on something bigger, man. And shout out to all those guys that dream big and do big. But remember, you got to take care of the present too. You got to take care of it while you're doing that, okay? You got to be laser focused, okay? You can't be myopic and thinking that, he's already interviewed for the commissioner of the NFL, his position. He already did that once. He's already went on record and said that's what he wants. He wants to do that. So not sure if that's going to happen, but that's what he's got his eyes set on, something bigger, okay? But honestly, this is not a good resume at all. We haven't nailed down the stadium. Our team is in a mess, and I think maybe that's why he finally decides to put a more hands-on approach. But now he's divided. His attention is on the team, and his attention's on the stadium. Let's see what he can do. But keep in mind, you might need to tear it off all the way down to the studs, okay? Oh, all the way down to the foundation. Take out the roof, take out the studs, the walls, everything. Level it. Start at the foundation, build over, okay? Maybe we need a new team owner. Sell the team. Chris, you want to buy it? Chris Foster is going to buy it. Chris Foster is going to buy the Bears. He's going to be our Lord and Savior for the Chicago Bears. He's going to restore us back to victory, and he's going to put in Bajent. End of story. All right. If losses like the San Francisco 49ers 38-13 spanking happen of the Bears at Levi Stadium on Sunday, developing into a damning trend, if that's what keeps happening, if this starts to being a trend the rest of the season, we might need to also look at the president also. Not just the GM, but also the president. We got to look at all of it, Okay, all of it. Trade for Kyle Shanahan. The 49ers head coach was on record and does not want to come here. It's a done deal. Cancel that. Okay, Greg? All those guys that dress up like 49ers fans and stuff and say, we don't want Kyle, get him out of here. That's done. That shtick is over. Put that to bed. It was funny. It was cute. It was very creative. Shout out to being creative, but he ain't coming. Okay. He said no thanks. He said no thanks to the Bears. Kyle Shanahan said no thanks to the Bears with every points that his team scored. Shanahan didn't need to say anything about the unsubstantiable trade rumors after the game, though he was asked about them. He was asked about them. Unbelievable. Why would Shanahan want to coach the Bears if he can beat the Navy and Orange out team while missing running backs like McCaffrey, Jordan Mason, defensive end Nick Bosa, Trent Williams, Brandon Ayuk, and other key players? Why would he? I mean, he could beat us with his backups. Why would he want to come here? For what? What does he get out of it? What does he get out of it? You know, I think Ben Johnson is the next Adam Gase. I really do. I really do. I think he's a good OC, but you put him as a head coach, he's probably going to fail miserably. That's my take. Okay. I don't think he's the Lord and Savior either. I don't. The expected new head coach bump from interior Thomas Brown quickly transformed into a bumpy, catastrophic, awful day for the franchise against Shanahan. Let's not overanalyze Brown's first week in the change of the Bears. The Bears are asking him to be a miracle worker. We're all asking him to be a miracle worker, right? He went from being their passing game coordinator to interim head coach in 18 days. Oh, I passed. I glossed over offensive coordinator. So passing game, right? Passing game coordinator to OC, right? To head coach, all within 18 days. I don't know how many franchises have done that. Can somebody Google that up? Would they Google it up? I'm saying probably one. The Bears. He hasn't even been employed by the team for a full calendar year yet. He has not been employed by a full calendar, man. It's crazy. That is crazy, man. What next? Is he going to be the owner? What's he get? What are they going to give him? GM? Oh my God. Brown said we got our butts kicked. No shit, Sherlock. Repeating his message to the team. There's no other way to say it. We'll always be straightforward, honest, and open about things that transpired. I mean, how thoughtful of you. How thoughtful of you, Thomas. What can Brown do for you? He can nail interviews. Post-game, pre-game, says all the lovely stuff. We finally got a guy that says all the good stuff, but, you know, all words and no action. Okay? But we got to do a better job of putting together a better game plan on both sides of the ball so we can execute better and obviously challenge our guys to be at their best and also encourage those guys and also demand that we still stay unified. This is a grown man's business. That's what he said. That's what he said. This is a grown man's business. Stop playing like you're not a grown man. That's what I got out of it. You guys aren't playing like grown men. Take that, Cole. The good vibes and changes Bears players said Brown provided last week didn't carry over to the game. All the good vibes and all that stuff didn't carry over to the game. Didn't translate, did it? But Brown is trying to clean up a mess that he didn't make. His mop and squeegee didn't work against the 49ers. He needs more. He needs a whole hazmat team, including what he left out on the field. But he's not making excuses for himself. He's not. He's admitting that he's screwing up. Okay? Shout out to that. Shout out to all those. We all screw up all the time repeatedly. I screw up repeatedly. You got to be man enough to admit it. You got to be man man up, but you got to make a change too. You can't just keep repeated. You got to make that change, you know? So Brown said, I try to keep it from a small focus standpoint. That's what he does. He thinks that the outside world puts a bigger emphasis on certain things, and he understands why, because the role is big. The role is big, so there's a big emphasis on it. He tries not to overanalyze that, okay? He's not going to try to act like it's not a big role either. But his focus always stays on the job, and he's asked to do, and he tries to be the best that he can. Well, right now your best isn't good enough. You better do better. Sunday wasn't a good day for Brown and defensive coordinator Washington and the entire organization at Levi Stadium. Terrible. Brown, though, has to speak for everyone. He's the voice. The goal, always, I don't care what my role is to win football games, Brown said. We didn't win. That's always going to be the focus and the point of emphasis. I got to do a better job. It always starts with me, Thomas Brown said. So communicate better to the entire staff, continue to try to find ways to demand more from his players so that they can show up on game day and play the right way. We played a really good football team, and they kicked their butts. Wow. Brown will be criticized for what happened against the 49ers, but he wasn't with the Bears with some of their best players when they were traded in 2022. He wasn't part of the team when former offensive coordinator Luke Getsy called plays for Justin Fields, or when the team traded for receiver Chase Claypool. Shame on you, Ryan Poles. He wasn't wearing navy and orange when team president, CEO Kevin Warren was hired 1 year after general manager Ryan Poles was. He didn't have an office at Hallis when the Bears decided to keep Matt Eberflus for a third season. Third time's the charm? Not so much. He didn't have a strong role on Hard Knocks either. And he was still the passing game coordinator when the Hail Mary happened against the Washington Commanders. Take that. With Eberflus fired, Poles and Kevin Warren's places in what this season has become deserve more scrutiny and plenty more criticism. Now that Eberflus is gone, he's no longer the problem. Let's start looking at Poles. Let's start looking at Kevin Warren. Who's next? The Bears might have looked like a team that was close against the NFC North rivals in the previous 3 weeks, but Shanahan's 49ers showed everyone just how far away the Bears really are on offense, defense, special teams, all three phases, except that punter. Poles' record with the Bears now include one more loss than Eberflus' tenure. Take that. Chairman George McCaskey, with his brothers Pat and Brian at his side, sat in the media room at Hallis Hall last week and listened to everything Poles and Warren had to say about this year and what's next for their beloved franchise. If McCaskey's is really just a Bears fan, as he's long maintained, surely he didn't walk out of the 20-minute news conference feeling upbeat about what transpired and what's ahead, right? How did he feel watching the team Poles built and Warren runs get blasted by the 49ers? How did they feel about that? The game was essentially over by halftime. The 49ers jumped out to 24-0 with ease. They had no problem. It was ridiculous. Outgaining the 49ers, the Bears outgained the 49ers 319 yards to 4. 319 yards to 4 total yards in the first half. The first half. That means our defense gave up 319 yards. Shame on them. And our offense only gained 4. That's ridiculous. The Bears Man, talk about only having one first down to the San Francisco's 14 first downs in the first half. They gave 14 first downs. The defense gave up 14 first downs to the Niners. The Niners defense only gave up one. Shout out to whoever started San Francisco 49ers defense for fantasy football. It was another slow start in a season full of them. The 49ers, though, continued their onslaught in the second half. Quarterback Brock Purdy, who only had 95 yards the previous game, he finished 20-25, only missed 5 pass attempts for 325 yards and 2 touchdowns. He was sacked once, and he had a quarterback rating of 142.5. 142.5. Tight end George Kittle looked like a freaking best tight end in the league, man. Hall of Famer. He looked unstoppable. 6 catches, only 6 catches for 151 yards. Third string running back Isaac Guerendo. Hope I said your name right, bro. Shout out to you. Great job running all over our defense. You made them look pedestrian, made them look like punks. Unbelievable. A rookie ran for 78 yards and 2 touchdowns on 15 carries and added 2 catches for 50 yards, man. Unbelievable. In the locker room, the answers were short and full of cliches, man. The 49ers sacked Williams 7 times. The drawing board the Bears want to get back to should be broken by now. The Bears got their butts kicked, Brown said a few times. That was one of his go-to cliches. What's your cliche for the Bears? Aside from Ghost of Judah and Foster saying start Bajent, start Bajent, start Bajent, start Bajent, start Bajent, start Bajent, start Bajent. Oh, record broke. Maybe everyone needs to hear that too, that the Bears got their butts kicked. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? What are the answers? What do we do? Where do we go from here? Shout out to you guys showing up and showing out. Hope you guys have a great Monday. Thank God it's Monday. Thank God he woke us up this morning. Hope you guys got a really good work week or whatever you're doing. Be great about it. Be intentional. As Jared Payton says, be great today. Love you guys. You guys are awesome. You guys matter. You guys are the best fans. You guys are the best supporters. You guys are great, man. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to the whole Bears community. Let's get through this, man. Chris Foster says he wants Ben Johnson, keep picks. And Foster said he should be a GM. He should be a GM. Well, Chris, so with the first decision, we already know what you're going to do. It's start Bajent. What do you do after that, buddy? I mean, that can't just be the only thing for a GM. You got to do a lot more than that, Chris. Think of that every time you come into the chats. Give a little bit more. Everybody, I want you guys to have a good work week, a good week. Have a good time with your families. Hug the ones you love. Cherish those moments. Stay close to them. If you got a friend in need, be there for them. Take care of each other, man. Love on each other. Be good people. Be the change that you need. I appreciate you guys, man. This is Brandon Trax Hyatt, and I'm checking out. And Chi-Town up, bear down. Things will get better. We can hope. If not, we got to stay together, man. We got to rise above. We got to stay united. We got to stay Bears fans. We got to stay true to our blue, man. Don't give up. All right, guys. See you guys Monday next week. We got a Monday Night Football game against the Vikings, I believe, right? I got a Pro Bowler, Henry Melton, coming out. And for my opinion, the greatest quarterback the Bears have ever had, still has the record for most passing yards in a season, Jim Miller. I look forward to working with him again up at Bridges Scoreboard in Griffin, Indiana. I'm going to have Chris up there, my co-host, my new co-host. Shout out to Chris. Also, Big Game James is going to be out there. Shout out to Eric for helping us out, putting together all the chords and everything. Shout out to the staff that were so patient and helping us and getting everything prepared and set up. And the bottle washer, the cook, the chef, the mixologist, the servers, everybody up there, man, amazing job. And again, thank you guys for your support. Thank you guys for your love. Thank you guys for everything. Couldn't do without it, man. Thank you for making me co-host. Chris Foster, you most definitely might as well been my co-host. Come on someday, man. Come on with us, Chris. We'll throw you on. I mean, just if you're not a camera guy, you know, if you got a voice for radio like I do, or not a voice, I messed that up. If you got a face for radio, just you know, all you got to do is this, bud. Boom. See that? No camera, all audio. We'll have you on, man. We'll put our differences aside. That's the cool thing about this community, man. We all love each other, and you know, we're all, you know, like brothers. We give our jabs and we give them back and we take them. But at the end of the day, we're all together. You know, we're no, Chris. There's a different Chris Foster. No, I mean, there's a different Chris. His last name isn't Foster, dude. His nickname's Papa Bear. He was there yesterday with me. There is a different guy in the chat. He works for the town, so he's probably already getting ready and heading out. But he was on earlier. Chris Blaker. Yeah, we all want the Bears to do good, for sure, man, for sure. Yeah, exactly. We definitely want 4 more wins for sure. So we'll see what happens. Anything can happen, guys. All right. Again, shine up, bear down. Love you guys. Have a good day. Be great today.